Alright YouTube, so today's video we are making it a special one. And why is it special? Because it just is special. I have this lens here that I've been talking about for some time. Never did the review on this, but it's really revisiting a legend of a lens that truly has earned a very high place and a stance in the lens world. This lens was actually made for the Olympics. It's the Canon 200 to 400 millimeter lens with the built-in 1.4 teleconverter right into it. And when you flip it over into the 1.4, you really lose nothing when it comes to image quality. It is incredible. And for this particular video, we're going to dive in with the ultimate DSLR ever made. On the Canon side, on the Nikon side, it would be the Nikon D6. On the Sony side, who cares? Because the Sony A99 II, they abandoned the damn thing, so it's not even relevant anymore. At least these guys, they're supporting this particular body. From what I saw from Canon, up to 2032, I think, is when they'll continue to service it. So a lot of life left in it. Absolutely, truly love it. Incredible. But that's the pairing going on for today's video. So if you are someone that appreciates DSLRs and truly wants to either relive them and or you own them. By the way, this gear, that gear back there, this stuff, it ain't free from Canon CPS. So let me just clarify something, because there are a bunch of fools that are cyber bullies that come and comment on these videos. They think that I get all this nonsense from Canon for free because of CPS. First of all, to become a CPS Platinum member, you need about 50 points, which means probably about $20,000 to $30,000 worth of gear. So that already proves how stupid you really are, which you don't know. Number two, I have don't have my iPad, but I can show it to you in a future video. Close to about, I think, 100. It's over 170 points. Do the math for yourself. So if you really think that you're really smart by spreading all this nonsense, great. If your butt hurt because I said something about your loving brand that you love so much, and then tough. Don't watch the video. Right? When you don't like the food at a restaurant, you go to another one. You don't just keep showing up there. Oh, I hate your food. Oh, I hate your food. But I'm not going to eat here, but I hate your food. You're going to keep coming back. You don't do that. So stop doing that shit. Get off of my channel. Don't come back here again. Back to the video again. They don't shoot DSLR, so they wouldn't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. I have no idea. Frankly, I don't really care. So let's go right into this. So this thing is actually mounted onto a video head. And this is one of the most world-renowned video head made by Manfrotto. It's the 502 AH head. And I've had this head actually as long as I've had the 600 f4 back there. A very long time. And no, it wasn't free. I paid for it. Let's talk about this lens. This lens has been National Geographic's favorite, all of those different things for filming, filmmaking, all kinds of different things, because it actually has something called PF on there, and that does not mean Nikon PF. So if you're looking for that, you're in the wrong video. Out of here. That's not what this video is about. PF means power focus. So this little ring up front, this actually allows you to rack the focus with a powered motor when you're in manual focusing mode. Why would you do that when the autofocus is so good? Well, when you are in extreme low light conditions, and when you're also like in a very humid type of situation, like if you're going to Costa Rica, Panama, all these places, and you're trying to shoot, sometimes the autofocus can be fooled by the humidity in the air. So you do need to go to manual focus mode. and be able to do that here. And especially if you're doing video work, this is beautiful. It's almost like, works like a camcorder autofocusing in there. It's like really super smooth. It's beautiful. If you never tried it, try it. If you own the lens, you never tried it, try it, right? So you got to keep in mind that these buttons also have a play. It's the buttons that you can program up here. They play a role into what you can do with this. So read your manual if you don't know how to do that. If you can afford this $11,000 to $12,000 lens, you can probably afford to read the manual. I would recommend that you do. These are not cheap, even on the used market. A really, really nice one. You got to be careful how you buy them. A really, really nice one, between $4,000 and $5,000 for a really good one. For one that's fairly good, might have a little bit of, beat ups and stuff, probably between $3,500 and $4,000. If you're getting one for about $3,000, check the serial number, make sure it's a legit USA model and all kinds of different things. You know what you got to do, but you figure it out. Anyway, sometimes you get deals on them, sometimes you just don't. The lens was made for Olympics. It is a 200 to 400 millimeter, and it's f4, constant aperture. When you put the 1.4x on there, it is no problem whatsoever on that. And it actually becomes a 560 5.6 is what it becomes. If I put this lens onto a 70 Mark II like this, onto a 70 Mark II, which is a 1.6 crop, this becomes like 890 some millimeters now, this lens, without a teleconverter. And you can put a 1.4x and a 2x on the back of this. If you put a 2x, the 1DX will most likely lose autofocus at that point because you're at like f11. But on the R5 and the DSLRs, no problem. On the mirrorless, it will continue to focus. So I don't shoot at f11, and I don't plan to put a 2x on this. I have put the 1.4x on this, and it's pretty amazing for a 1.4x plus another 1.4x on there to be able to get some insane reach and get incredible image quality. You guys have seen some of these pictures that I've actually posted out there with that combo, actually. So what makes this combination a very this is really like match made in heaven, guys. I think we just truly have to figure out how are we going to move forward in this mirrorless world when we have such incredible equipment like this available, which was all downplayed and made everyone believe that this is all substandard nonsense, that you had to go mirrorless to actually even get something decent. That's where I have the problem. I have lots of mirrorless cameras behind me, you know that. That does not mean that these are no good. This has everything that the R1 has, pretty much, except for just a few things that it doesn't have. Because obviously, you can do more on the sensor type of thing, and it's got some capabilities that it can do. But will I get the shot with this? Absolutely. Will you get the shot with R1? Absolutely. Right? It all depends on what you want. My whole thing was, just small things like rubber going all the way up to here. This is all missing. This entire piece is missing on the R1. It's just not the same. It's different. The other thing is 20 frames per second mechanical and electronic in the live view on this camera, and then 16 frames per second if you want to use the mirror box inside. So kind of cool, not bad, right? It can do mirrorless type of things, and it can do DSLR type of things. And when you have it paired with a lens like this, pretty neat on what you can do. You can zoom in and then zoom out. You guys know this. I'm not a very big zoom fan, but I'll say this again. You get what you pay for. The problem with all of this is a truly optically corrected lens is not going to be light. It's gonna be heavy, right? It needs a lot of elements, a lot of different things. This lens is about 8 pounds. The Sigma 300 to 600 they made for Sony, which is crippled at 15 frames per second. What a shame, but it is. Weighs more than this lens, right? But it starts at 300, goes to 600. This one starts at 200, goes to 400. But all I can do is, bam, do that. Close enough. Is the optical quality of the other one 1,000 times better? I don't know. You never know. It's a third-party lens. Does your camera know what it is? No. It knows it's third-party on the Sony system. That's why it cripples it to 15. This one, I get full 20 out of it. And on the R5 Mark II, full 30. On the R6 Mark III, full 40 frames per second. R1, 40 frames per second. No problem whatsoever. So, if you've never seen this lens before, now you have. A lot of people don't buy these because of their cost. They're not cheap. And they overlook this lens and go with a 600 or a 400, which is perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with those. The 400 2A is a brilliant freaking lens. 600, outstanding. You know that. There's one back there. So it all depends on what you want. I was not looking for weight savings. I will say this. With DSLRs, I'm kind of happy to be shooting them again because they weigh more, number one. Most people, as they get older, they want lighter. I thought I wanted that too. I'm not young anymore. But in the last just few months or so, I've come to the realization that all these years during COVID and all this stuff, when I kept shooting all these mirrorless cameras, one thing happened, which was my health went south. And this is me, so don't equate yourself to this and don't get all freaky in the comments. My health went south because I really wasn't lifting balanced weight anymore. I mean, I was still using incredible lenses, but then the bodies would do this, and you're trying to do this, balance, and that. I mean, it's like your body's trying to do this. Even if you buy some of the new lenses, as you just heard, they're not light and they're not small. But the problem is the mirrorless bodies never got to this until Canon and Nikon actually made stuff like that. We were just, used to having a body that was like more like, that. And then we're thinking we're holding an 8-pound lens like that. Wrong. Just look at how much pressure there is through here if you have to hold an 8-pound lens like that. And even if you try to balance it, now all of this pressure is right here. And it was actually killing my arms, actually more. So a lot of people thought, oh, weight savings and all this bullshit, right? One thing I'll tell you, when you're out in the field, if you're ever out in the field, if you get off of YouTube and stop, keyboard jocking, if you get out in the field and you take a lens like this out there, or you take anything that has substantial weight out there, when you start to get wind hitting it, this is so stable and you're able to shoot. With most mirrorless offerings, your body moves, unless you're shooting like a Nikon Z9. That body is pretty heavy, right? So you got weight and you got heft to hold it down so you can balance and pivot on that. And if you don't understand the pivot action I'm doing, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. So let me show you what I'm talking about. in comparison, this is a 800 millimeter RF lens. It's 800 f11, but it weighs like paperweight. It weighs nothing. I can just zoom it around like that. I can't do that with this. If I tried, I mean, probably not a good idea. When you got wind hitting this, this whole thing is just, it's not stable. You need weight to balance. Even if you have a heavy body in the back, it still is going to move because the wind is going to actually hit this thing, and especially hit here and get inside your, you know, lens hood, especially if you're using one. And look how big these lens hoods are. Perfect for the air to bounce around in there. You need weight. So what is a gist of sort of what I'm talking about? When I started to go back to rebuilding my DSLR, you saw that video. If you haven't seen it, I'll pop it up here somewhere. Okay? Click on it, go watch it. When I started to buy all of these guys back, and no, CPS didn't send it to me for free. Some people just, you know, can't stop. Anyway, back, I digress. When I bought these back, it made me realize one thing. I can do two things. Either I let my health continue down the path that it is, or I take charge of it. I decided to take charge of it, and I go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. My entire back, my lower back, my shoulders, all of this is rebuilding already as we go. And it is pretty easy for me to grab this now, which I couldn't do that easily before. And this is with the 1DX on there. Perfectly balanced, no issues. I'm not even trying. Look, it's not like, it's like pushing it back down. So it balances the weight. So you don't, in a mirrorless situation, you had this happening. With this, it's balanced. So, and I'm not even trying, it's just like 1 or 2 fingers I can do this. So, I would highly recommend that you go out there, you take care of your health, you take care of you. And don't stop shooting something just because someone told you that it sucks. That has never ever owned one. Most of these people that are shooting mirrorless, they have never shot a DSLR before. But once they start shooting a DSLR, they're like, oh my God, this is incredible. No shit, Sherlock. We've been saying that for almost 30 years. You spent tens of thousands of dollars on mirrorless. What did you really attain? Are your photos any better? Not really. Yeah, you might get 1 or 2 shots, yeah, with these auto thingies you got. This is enough capability in here to get you the shot. If you can't get a shot with this combo, I don't know. Or a Nikon D6 with like a 600 f4 or 400 2.8, or even the ones that they have with their TCs built in. If you got one of those, you mean tell me you can't get a shot? You gotta have a Z9? No, hell no, you don't. That D6 is an incredible machine. If you've never held one in your hand, never owned one, you would never know. How do I know? I know I have some friends that actually shoot it. And it's just a fantastic, beautiful machine. So, anyway, back to where we are. I wanted to tell you about the ultimate that you can get to in the DSLR world, especially if you like zooms. If you want the ultimate zoom and DSLR combo, this is it. It doesn't get any better. Give it a go. Nikon's got similar things. Your 200 to 500 lens that you put that onto a D500 is deadly. Deadly combination. I'm not going to even talk about the Z500 because you'll never see one. No one gives a shit about your Z500 anymore because it doesn't even mean anything. It's been 5 years too late. I've been enjoying my 7D Mark II and my R7 for the last 5 years. Nikon people, you can only enjoy your D500. So just enjoy your D500 and not worry about the Z500. Because you ain't ever going to get it, and these people are going to make sure you don't get it. Because apparently you're not important. So With that, that's a wrap for this video. Like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic. And in 2026, like I said, enough is enough, and we will not be putting up with any more bullshit on this channel. So out the door, all this stuff goes out the door. You go if you're trying to create havoc on this channel. You won't last long. So with that, I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you.